I want to make this for the guy who recently has been stuck in his own life and just really feels like there's absolutely nothing that he can do in order to get out of it. So, for me, just to give you like a basic timeline, for the past 2 or so months, ever since like I had broken up with like a really long time girlfriend, like longest relationship I've ever been in, life's kind of just been spiraling downwards. And maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you can think about like maybe it wasn't a breakup, but there's been like an event that recently, like ever since that thing happened, or ever since like around that time period, for me, it's not like the case of like, oh, I broke up with the girl and like my life's over. But it's more of a case of like around the same time, everything kind of happened all at once and just things were kind of going in and out, and life's been how it is. You feel stuck. You feel like, regardless of how hard you try in your fitness, your business work, your self improvement, your mental health, all these things, everything's going good. You're still maybe beating everybody and everything. You're still maybe below average or still maybe average. It doesn't matter the level, but you're still stuck. And for you, that bothers you because your goal is to progress and make progress and to do better. And you just can't. And you can feel yourself constantly spiraling down. I'm going to be going over I'm actually going to do this in the Canva document. I'm going to be going over my way of kind of fixing some of these issues. And just to clarify 100%, I'm still in that rut. I had just made a post recently in one of the groups that I'm in. This is like school. This is where I have both of my communities. You can't find this one in the description. This is a free one. If you look on like school.com/future, it's in like pre-release right now. This isn't like an advertisement or anything. I'm just giving you context. And then I have like my paid program here, which that you can buy if you want to, but that's like a calisthenics product. That's for my main channel. I made a post in here basically just saying like, and you can pause and take a read if you want, but basically just saying like the mental frame I'm going through. And this was literally like 40 minutes ago, like an hour ago almost. Like this is very recent and I'm still in like this rut territory. And I kind of just want to write this out just for my own sake and kind of being able to explain it. This is like therapeutic for me. So I'm just going to be kind of writing out for my own sake and maybe for the viewer watching like what I'm kind of going through, and without any emphasis on like YouTube watch time or anything. Like you can click off right now. I don't really care. If you watch longer, this could reach someone that it helps. But other than that, I don't really care. This is mostly for me. So if you're stuck in a rut, there are a few main things that you can do in order to make a change. And this is after like years of self improvement. And even though I'm still like not fully out of it, I'm doing some actionable things, and taking action is better than doing nothing. Some things that I'm doing is environment change. So I'm changing the environment change. I am dopamine detoxing. So I'll just write this smaller: dopamine detox. And then what else am I doing? That's kind of it. These are the two main things. And I think these are very, very important. Oh, and then like new habits. I guess we can go over that. That's kind of tied in with dopamine detox, but we can talk about these two separate. Environmental changes. You act when you walk into a room, when you go into like a specific place or school or whatever. Let's say you're in school. The reason why you have a certain classroom, and it's not just like go wherever you want, like your teacher, like you'll randomly find them like in a random spot every day. The reason is to keep things uniform. Schools want you to associate the classroom that you're in or the class that you're taking with X thing. They want you to associate this teacher with this subject. When you're doing this subject and this teacher, you have this type of test and you get this exact type of grading system, and then you go on to do this thing. They keep it everything uniform so you can actually focus and learn within like the confines of the school. If you've ever tried like working on other work like business work or different types of schoolwork or any of that type of stuff while in school, you might notice that it's a lot more difficult than like in your actual home or where your desk is at home or whatever. And this is another reason why like cleaning your workplace is super important. Like if you can see mine, like it's not, I have like cups and things. You can see yourself here. But I have like some stuff lying about, which isn't optimal, but I mean, kind of is what it is right now. But that's another reason why like cleaning up and all those things are important. But what am I doing to change my environment? This desk used to be where that red thing is. So I don't know if you can see that red thing, and that's all dirty because I'm moving stuff around, and my floor, like my bed on the floor, and I have like my watch here and here. Let me try and you see the bed, it's like a mess. My laundry is all messed up, like all this stuff. I have a desk on the floor, like wooden platform. Here I have like journals and notes and all that type of stuff, just trying to like hyper optimize like the current self improvement path. And the point of that is to change where I'm at because I spend the majority of time in my room trying to do work, like kind of avoiding everybody in my house to be quite quite honest. Um, and that's where I spend the majority of my time. Because I've changed everything up. I'm working in a completely new location. I'm sleeping on the floor. I'm still in my bed, but I'm sleeping on the floor. I'm facing a different direction. Everything is different. So as I go through the process, as I'm like draining my willpower and my discipline now, turning the new environment into like new habit forming. That's how habits are formed. It's environment and it's previous actions and it's like all this other stuff. One of the key ones is the environment that you're in. Like if you're in a candy shop where you always order the cake, or that was a dumb example for a candy shop. If you're in a bakery and you always order the cake, when you walk in that bakery, you're more likely to order the cake, even if you don't want to order the cake, because you're used to just doing it. It's an automatic action. If you walk by the fridge, you know how you like walk by the fridge and you just open it and you don't grab anything, but you just like look in it to see if food magically appeared? It's the same reason. You formed a habit of doing that. When you walk into a room and you turn on the light, you formed a habit of doing that. Now, if the light switch randomly changed locations, you'll still like hit the wall. Like if my hand is a wall here, you'll still like go like this to try and turn the switch on, but it's not going to work because there is no light switch anymore. So that's kind of what I mean. So, environmental changes, changing up things about your environment is huge. Whether it's changing up different positions in your room, whether it's changing where you live, whether it's changing who you're lived with, whether it's changing schools or whatever, any of these things can have a significant impact on how you live your life. And this is something that's worked for me the best in the past, is just rearranging my room. This room has had 50 bajillion different iterations. This is one of them. I honestly like this one the most, so I'm hoping this is the one that stays, but it is what it is. Environmental changes can also be like on your phone, for example. So one of the things is, this ties in with dopamine detox. One of the things that I did personally just to kind of get on the dopamine detox, like no Instagram, no YouTube, no shorts, no like dopamine, like social media stuff, which is the majority of like my problem of like scrolling and all those things. I knew that I was going to want to be on my phone. So in order to combat that, what I did was I changed the environment of the phone. I changed my background, and I showed this in yesterday's thought journal, but I changed the background of my phone to me looking stupid as a reminder of like how I don't want to look or how I don't want to feel. I changed my homepage to only having like essential apps. So I have the camera app, I have Notion, which is like a note taking app, I have FitNotes, which is like my workout tracking app, Chronometer, which is my calorie tracking app. I have a stretching app, Medito, which is meditation, clock, and then my habit tracker. And then the habit tracker is what I spend the majority of my time on. So you'll see here, I have like different things checked off. And that kind of gives me something that is positive for me, but gives me that little dopamine rush when holding my phone specifically, because I'm used to getting that from my phone. So in order to do that, I have to do the positive task. I have to like edit a video or post it. So like here, for example, I just posted this short that I had edited on my phone, and it gives me a little bit of dopamine. Sick. In like 10 minutes, it's got 400 views. That's neat. That's cool. Changing up the environment a little bit. Wow. In order to actually hit this dopamine detox goal of like not being on social media, not scrolling on long form content, not doing anything stupid, that's the thing that's actually going to allow you to, this thing here is actually going to allow you to do this one. That also ties in with the new habits. Why did I choose the new habits that I chose? I understood that in order to fill in the time of not being on social media, being bored all the time, all these things, I would have to have different goals and I would have to do more uninteresting things. So what does that look like? Let me show you. One of my habits, one of the things like I was struggling with that I've been really good about in the past is waking up on time. I started for the first time in literal months or years sleeping through alarms like consistently. That would never happen to me in my life. I was always the type of person to wake up from like 3 to 7 a.m., depending on the period I was in. There was times where I would wake up at 3 a.m. for months completely willingly, whether I was underslept, whether I didn't sleep, whether I got 1 hour of sleep, whether I had coffee, caffeine, no caffeine, whatever. And I was just 100% able to do that. I got to the point recently to where I just wasn't, and I couldn't figure out why. And I'm still not the type of person like spring out of bed, but I was at some point. So I know that's an ability for me. So the goal here, and for each habit I put a goal. So like this is called Loop Habit Tracker, this app that I use. You can set a note, and in the note I put the goal. So I'll put like goal dash, and then you can probably see it there. I'll try and get the camera to focus. The camera doesn't want to focus, but it essentially says goal 30-day consistency, preferably waking up around 5 or 6 a.m. Cool. That's the time I want to wake up. I have something to strive towards. I have a goal to get to, and my goal is ultimately consistency, because I'm really good at doing things for a short period of time, really hard, but not very good at doing things that are still hard, but maybe not as hard or just as hard for long periods of time. Gratitude journal, writing down something that I'm grateful for. Same thing. My goal is to fill a full notebook. So I don't have one with me. I would show you, but I have like this. It's fairly thick. It's kind of like this, but the pages are smaller. So instead of like a notebook being like this, it's kind of scrunched down a little bit, but it's like super thick. So it kind of is the same amount of paper. I'm going to fill one of those, and my goal is just to fill it, not within a specific time frame. Maybe I should have a specific time frame. It might be more effective. Cold shower in the morning. My goal is 5 minutes in the shower. I've never been able to do that before. I've never really been good at cold showers other than like very brief periods. So this is something that I think is going to be super important. This is, again, just because it's technically good for you and all those different types of things. These habits specifically all have a purpose, but they don't necessarily have like this life altering effect. It's just to get me in the habit and the consistency loop of doing things that are good for me, that are low dopamine activities, that are going to distract me from doing something that's worse. So like the waking up on time, that's important. Obviously, the gratitude journaling, I can tell it's more effective to tell someone you're grateful for them. It's more effective to like express gratitude verbally. Writing it down is probably one like the not as good ways of doing it, other than just thinking it. But I have writing it down just because that gives me something to do. It gives me something wholesome in the morning and like sets a good standard for the morning. I have stretching because I've been wanting to do that for months and I just haven't. So I have stretching in here. What do I have? My goal is no spine pain when waking up. I can touch my toes cold, which I kind of lost, which is crazy. I used to be able to palm the floor completely cold, and doing the splits would be cool. I was able to do front splits for a little bit when I was younger. I haven't been able to do that anymore, so I want to regain that ability. I have meditation in here. My goal is just consistency, so doing 30 days in a row. I've went through periods where I've done 1 minute. I've went through periods when I've done 20 minutes, multiple days in a row, sometimes weeks in a row. I've meditated like hundreds of minutes, but I lose progress because I lose the consistency. That's a huge part about this aspect of my life. I think the key thing for me is just the fact that I'm not consistent. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on mainly. Next thing, plan today. So basically, just if you've heard of the saying plan tomorrow today, it's the same type of concept. And I can actually make this camera bigger because I don't think I'm going to be using this, but it's the same type of concept. Essentially, what it means is like early in the morning or when I'm at school or on my phone, on the bus, whatever, I'll just write down like a general timetable for my day, and I'll just like write down like 8 p.m. do this thing, 8 p.m. to 3 p.m. school, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. workout, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. eat, deep work, like whatever, that type of thing. I have journal, which is what this is for me. Goal, fill a full notebook, but I would prefer this, so I might switch up the goal of just like record a video every day for 30 days, something like that. Read a book. I want to read a full book front to back. That's something that I've really sucked at for reading, and I haven't been super efficient with that. And I've always been I've been wanting to read. I've been wanting to study more. I've been wanting to do all that type of stuff. Just it's not been going the way I like it. So I have that in there. So I have a goal now that I can hit, that's actionable, that I can do within a reasonable amount of time. Next thing, No social media, but my platform school is allowed that I have not done today. I've been on YouTube a tiny bit, no scrolling though. Tracked macros. I have done that for the full day, so I'm actually going to check that off right now. I have not hit like the macro goal for today, but I'm also going to eat again, and I'm going to be able to hit that no problem. So that's neat. And final thing, in bed for 9 hours before I wake up to ensure that I'm getting the right amount of sleep and I'm being disciplined and dedicated to my sleep schedule. This is my anti-rut protocol. And I'm not going to write this on the thing because I've already kind of been talking, but this is kind of what I'm doing in order to prevent myself from staying in this bad place. And if this can give you any motivation to take action, to kind of copy what I'm doing or any of these things, and please, by all means, take it. I've been procrastinating so much making videos on my main channel because this is like the thing that I'm really focused on in my life right now. And I haven't been making progress in my training and my calisthenics and my actual like knowledge well, maybe knowledge a little bit when it comes to training and all those different types of things, just because my mind hasn't been in the right place. And I'm really trying to get to a spot to where I can 100% with certainty provide the best amount of value that I can give to anyone who follows me, who listens to me, or whatever. So I'm going to be doing my best. My name's been Brandon. Keep doing the best of doing your best. Trust God. Maybe atheistic now, so that's going to be weird to say. Signing off.